Bin literally used to be called Love Camille. That was his name in solo queue before he became a pro player. This guy knows how to play the Camille. Rise the first pick. This is a totally different draft, and I'm happy to see that.
This is where I get nervous, because one of the things that we've seen from top esports is when the chips are down, when they've gone and had that reverse sweep in playoffs, it was nice on the Rise that brought it back, that started their key to victory against Victory 5. But we'll have to see if he's going to have that same impact. As RNG, with the Aphelios gone, still going to go for late game scaling on the Jinx, and Wei will get his hands on this Lee Sin again. So you'd assume TN going to prove that he knows this matchup with the Viego once more, but maybe mixing things up.
Maybe going for a bit of a simpler teamfight composition with the Hecarim. And to be honest, I think that would be welcomed with open arms from top esports fans, because this weird composition they've been going for hasn't been that fantastic. I'm a little curious where Jackie Love's going to go as well, with the AD carry pool pinch so hard. Oh, that's where he's going to go. The classic Jackie Love Draven.
I mean, you had to say it. You had to ask, and Jackie Love answers. And now you've got the Nautilus paired with it. Jinx is going to have a nightmare if this depth charge hits, because she's not going to be able to get away. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a Tam Kench come through here just to go, hey, look, we need something to protect our bot lane, protect people, and stop Jackie Love from getting these resets. But we'll have to see if that's going to be the plan, as Xiaohu will actually look towards the Vex. I was about to say the LeBlanc is open if Xiaohu wants to go back towards it, but was happy with the performance in Game 1, wants to see if he can repeat it in Game 3.
Yeah, so the Camille, crucially making it through this whole first part of the draft, but, you know, not necessarily wanting to just go for a blind pickup at the top side for RNG. And now these bans, Dagda, where you're expecting the teams to focus.
You got no jungle for Tien. Viego off the board, Hecarim off the board, Volibear taken away. Like, you have opportunities now to really pinch this pool for Tien. And when you've got a Draven, honestly, I think you get rid of Volley, get rid of the Viego, get rid of, or actually maybe even the Jarvan. Just things that can, like, play aggressive in the early stages, facilitate this Draven to actually be a carry, and make sure you've got the advantageous matchup with the Lee Sin.
Do you know what we've seen from Tien one time this split? Poppy jungle. He's against the Lee Sin. He's against the Vex. I'm just saying, it's an option. Okay, I'll stop being silly now. But the Volibear ban, you can expect another ban in the jungle. It is that Viego that you mentioned before. Irelia taken off the board by top esports. Wouldn't be surprised to see something maybe like a Jace taken away from Bin as well, or just that Camille ban.
Yeah, I think either way, Bin is just going to be able to like wait for a counter pick here. You're going to go towards like the Leona or something for Ming here. Go towards the Tam Kench that we were talking about. Like, make sure you're able to actually have a good matchup in that bot side. And then I think you'll probably see, okay, there's the Camille ban, but the Jarvan I think would be the best answer here for top esports with the Volley and the Viego taken away. You don't win the 1v1, but just having the opportunity to like play to the opposite side of the map of Wei and like help set up Jackie Love on the bot side just seems like such a good plan.
Does as RNG look towards their support role here to find the matchup up against Mark. And, you know, Leona versus Nautilus, this has been very standard in that bottom side for quite some time. Both of these players actually preferring the Nautilus side of this matchup if you look at their match history, but Leona Nautilus, it's here or there. Now over to Tien, what jungle do we go with?
You need aggression. You need early game. This could work for Tien if he wants to, but I just feel like something like the Jarvan, the Rex side, these things that can spike harder and level 3, play in towards mid lane, play around your bot side of the map are going to be your best answer, because this is top esports going, look, we want to get the ball rolling. We need to get something going in these early stages, and the Hecarim is locked in, but that's not exactly going to kind of fit that role, and it's something that Tien hasn't really had the best of performances on over the course of playoffs.
Now to Wayward for his blind pick up in this top side. And we've seen that RNG are happy to play towards that top side if they need to. So Wayward does need to be cautious. He's been dived a couple of times across this series already. And he's unsure where he wants to go, but it looks like Gnar has been the blind pick across this entire series, this time going into Wayward's hands.
And we have seen Bin bring out things like the Akali in these situations for the counter pick. We've seen him go towards the likes of the Graves, the Jaces, the Trindamirs, if we want to as well, is available. Haven't seen the Trindamir from Bin this split, but definitely fits that kind of carry side lane pressure that Bin has liked to play. So we'll have to see what
Let's
the plan
be
is.
honest, Bin can play Trindamir. Yeah. Even if he's not played in the LPL, like he's one of the best Camille players in the world. He can probably play Trindamir.
Mechanically very hard, you know, your stuff. You know?
Do you have to press Q at the right time? You have to occasionally press E. It's going to be a Gwen. So, you know, no scissors from the Camille. Different pair of scissors this time with Gwen up in the top side. But Gwen, in the right composition, can be monstrous.
And I'd really like it against what Top Esports are going for, right? Because, look, it's going to have a little bit of a tough time in the matchup. Nar can bully and push the lane, especially with the nerfs we saw to Gwen on the range. But when you get to the later fights, how do you really deal with this Gwen, right? Because you're looking and going, hey, Jackie Love doesn't want to approach her at all. Like, Jackie Love will get torn apart by this Gwen. Same when you look towards Knight, and suddenly like the combination that you have of like trying to have this strong front line to set up for Knight and the DPS from Jackie Love doesn't really work because Gwen gets to just sit in front of you in the hollowed mist and take away any sort of that threat.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting pick to see how it interacts in these fights. I will say though, you mentioned Jackie Love. That's the pick I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Jackie Love bringing a signature Draven. Top Esports are against the ropes in this one. They're 0-2 down in the series. They've been here before in this playoffs and managed to find the win. And Jackie Love digs deep and brings out his signature pick. I mean, it's destiny. I just want to see them play bot side. I want to see them get Jackie Love fed. I want to see him take over.
But that's the thing, RNG know that's the game plan, right? You've got the Gnar on the top side. They're going to play weak side. You know all the resources from top are going to be going down towards that bottom lane. So I honestly think we're going to see Wei, especially in these early stages, try and burn like a flash on Knight in the mid lane, make sure Knight isn't able to be as proactive as you'd like, and then work with Xiaohu to keep Jackie Love in check. This is where that early game battle is really going to take shape, and it's one Top have been winning.
Well, we're headed into game number 3 of our spring LPL 2022 finals. And Jackie Love is on the Draven. We asked for a simpler composition from Top Esports. We absolutely have that. It's pretty much front to back. And you can see the trophy in the background, the brand new Silver Dragon that these teams are fighting for. And RNG in their eyes, that trophy belongs to them. And they're just a singular game away from taking it.
And they've looked confident so far, playing for the late game, making sure that they can be the carries. And once more, we get the late game, and Mark, oh, he's going to be getting out of there.
A bit of damage coming on through. Still has his flash available. Actually, to be fair to Mark, the cojones to hold on to his flash that entire time when you're 2-0 down in the finals. The man's got confidence.
Look, he is Peter Marker. He is Spider-Man. He's able to get on out of there with that hook, and he's totally fine.
Jesus.
But I know that was a
That was
stretch.
rough.
But I do like the way we got the ward down on the red buff here for RNG, right? Because all they want to do is like, wait, make sure you're tracking 10, making sure that you're able to make these plays happen, and again, get the early control for RNG.
So let's talk pathing here, Tien. On this Hecarim, this is one of those junglers that typically does just want to power farm, but you can be aggressive early. And maybe there's some angle here for Tien to kind of change the status quo and go for some early pressure. Maybe make some play towards top lane, for example.
Yeah, I still think it's just a case of match bot.
Oh,
like
Wayward to the wrong side of the lane. Bin is going to have a really good trade to start this lane off. Wayward forced underneath his tower. He's half HP. An extra auto for Bin as well. Oh, Bin, he knows exactly what he's doing in this top lane.
Yeah, really nice job, because one of the big things that you look at with the nerf to Gwen was that range. So the fact he hit in the bush let Wayward walk up means that he can actually close the gap regardless and still get a good amount of damage off. So Bin already with control top, push in bot as well, with Jackie Love not having the best of wave clear in these early stages. So the only wave really pushing is Knight in the mid lane, and you're going to have to see if Knight is going to be able to try and hold on to that control and kind of play almost like the Xiaohu story here, where he's trying to facilitate side lanes and make sure they're safe.
Bin going in the top side once again, but Wayward in Mega Knot makes it difficult for Bin to be too aggressive. I'm looking to that bot side though, because the second that a hook lands from Mark, Jackie Love with the Hail of Blades, with the Ignite from Mark, they will annihilate someone.
It's going to be so hard to try and fight against that. And again, I think this is why my eyes are on Wei. Like, we've set up pretty much all over playoffs that Wei hasn't had these strong early games. He's a player that's really lacked kind of the control that we saw, and I think part of that is maybe because of his rise to stardom very quickly coming off of E-Star, but now without that direction, he has to find himself. And can he find this play bot side, because Tien is here?
Certainly looked good across the course of this series so far as Tien tries to make a play on the bottom lane, but forces a flash out from Ming. I like the sideways flash as well. Never flash a straight line away from Nautilus, because even if it doesn't look like it, it's going to hit you.
Yeah, Wei just putting that ward down, making sure the top esports are actually backing away. But, you know, flashless Ming, it's still an advantage for top esports. Still a lane that can be revisited. And suddenly now, Gala and Ming can't really use the fact they have that push in the bot side, because if they overextend, Tien with Ghost gets in behind the Leona, and it's going to be bad news bears for the RNG bot lane.
Oh, Wayward stepped a little too far forward on that one. Almost mega. Nah, he needs to transform. Whew, so close to going down. The fleet footwork, the pot now finally procced on this one. Feels like he is playing on a knife's edge, and that's the way that this top lane always seems to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that Bin got that really nice level 1 trade means that Wayward can't really continue to pressure on towards Bin. So really nice job from the RNG top lane. Now Wei on top side, and Wayward's going aggressive.
Oh, he certainly is. Wants the 1v1 onto Bin, but Wei is here. Wei is in the river, and Wei is Wayward Wei as he tries to move up towards the top side. It didn't quite come out how I wanted it to, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Wayward flashes away, gets a boomerang, will survive. And crucially, the Skullcrab was finished before this play happened, and now Tien moves up to this top side as well to try and make sure this wave can crash.
Yeah, wants to stop the freeze with Wei here, but I don't think they're going to be able to look for a dive. I will say, Knight has... Oh, wait. Knight is TP'd into mid. So you don't have Xiaohu with any mana. He needs to reset now. So maybe Knight starts to roam up to this play. You can see him now on the move. This could actually be a dive from top esports, but Knight not feeling it, knowing that Xiaohu could TP top.
Yeah, deciding against the play there. I love that Tien, he's in the, passive side of this jungle matchup. Wei works towards him on the Krugs, and Tien's like, you know what, mate? I'm happy to take this trade. I know I've got my Gnar nearby. Now an all-in the bottom side as Ming goes for the Zenith Blade. CC onto Jackalope, but he cleanses the stun, returning fire. It's just Mark and Ming basically taking a bit of damage.
Knight is here, though, still level 5, and that's why RNG kind of backing away. But nice job from Ming just to trade effectively there when the hook from Mark was down.
The wave not in a great spot for RNG here. If Jackalope plays it very slowly, this will push towards Jackalope and Mark. It'll make it very difficult for the side of RNG to even farm. Right now, they're even. But if Top East will play this lane right, they should find an advantage.
Yeah, Wei is running down here, though, and I imagine Xiaohu, after he shoves in mid, will start to lean towards this bot side as well. So I think you should have like suitable control over the bot lane for the moment, and will allow Gal and Ming to collapse the wave. And that's exactly how RNG need to try and play this, right? Whenever your wave ends up in a dangerous situation like this, making sure you've got key support tools there. Cleanse was burnt on Jackalope, but I really don't think you want to try and go over-aggressive here, RNG, especially as Tien already on his way to the bot side, and you've got the opportunity for Knight to follow.
Just trying to clear this wave. Tien moving over, and we've got a bit of a scrap in the river by the looks of things with Knight and Xiaohu right next to each other. I don't think they've actually gone for each other just yet, but checking each other, making sure neither can get the roam for free. Just a little cue out from Knight as he wants to go for the trade himself. But I'm not sure either Knight or Xiaohu necessarily wants to straight up 1v1 at this point in the game.
No, everyone knows it's not a 1v1, right? There's too many junglers in the location. There's just too many moving parts here, especially when you look at supports from the bottom side of the map. But again, I think this is like super interesting to see kind of the evolution of RNG from 2021 to 2022, where it has become so bot lane focused. Yeah. When you consider RNG last split was all about Xiaohu playing around that top side, playing around wave states, and now it's become the Gala story and playing for team fights.
And once again, that was the transition of Spring back in last year. When Gala first joined the team, it felt like he wasn't really doing that much for them until we saw playoffs, until we saw MSI, and then the story became Gala. I'm looking towards the junglers though, Dagda, because Tien toying with the idea of a dive onto that AD carry that we were just talking about. Big damage out from Tien onto Gala. Wei here to protect his teammates. Flame Chompers stop Mark finding the engage. Jackalope will have to back away. Xiaohu is here, and a Shadow Surge could be massive if he can get a triple fear. Remember, Top Esports on the wrong side of a tower here, so they do have to be cautious how aggressive they go.
Yeah, Jackalope will get the CS, though. Now they're trying to get back.
Oh, hook onto Ming. That's a big find, but they can't quite finish the kill just yet. Jackalope's still only level 5. No execute available for him, and he's low on mana. Having to back away. Bin has TP'd into the play. Over the wall he goes, but he's 1v3 right now. Throws the needlework. Bit of damage, but he's rooted. Hooked in. The serrated dirt going to be huge for Jackalope, but he doesn't have the damage, and Xiaohu eradicates them. It's a double for the little tiger in the mid lane, and turn it into 3, and that's how many games RNG won in the series.
The triple tiger tackle in this fight, and now the tussle going the way of RNG. Dragon for them as well, and just like that, it looked good for Top Esports. All they had to do was back away, but they get baited by the hook from Mark, baited onto the Leona, who's just so tanky. And from that position, with Bin TPing in, there's just nothing that Top Esports are able to achieve.
And we said that this was a little much from Top Esports. We said, hey, they're between towers. And I love this from Bin. So many top laners would not go for this play. 1v3, but he knows that he has the damage, and he knows Xiaohu will be there to follow up.
And the thing is, because Mark hooked him, it actually put the Nautilus into position where Bin could get the audio attack, allowed him to get the last proc of the ultimate off, and gets all that healing back from the needlework. So Bin stays tall, gets the damage down, and sets up perfectly for Xiaohu.
And it was like that massive damage burst was the third needlework from the Gwen, which obviously it does more damage every single time you use it. But then Xiaohu as well, just finding that QE combo across the pair of them, finds himself a triple kill. We said we wanted these mid laners on exciting carries. We get Xiaohu on this Vex once more, and right from the word go, he delivers.
Now, I do want to look at the gold though, because the gold is still in Top Esports' favor. There was a lot of gold and CS that was lost that bot lane turret that is still not going to be answered for. You can see already the CS lead that's opening up there. A CS lead in the mid lane as well. A big CS lead in that top side as well for Wayward, alongside being able to put pressure on that top lane turret. So, even though they are turning around the plays, there is still the side lanes for Top Esports, whereas Xiaohu is the benefactor of all the gold on RNG.
Yeah, Xiaohu needs to have a good game now. Because that's the key thing, right? As you say, all of the gold in his pocket. And we know he's capable of carrying. But the split second, you overstep. And we have seen that in game number 1 when he was on his Vex. Getting picked off is very easy.
And I mean, look, he's the franchise player for RNG. We want to see him step up. But I'm looking at the redemption story for TN as well. And I'm seeing the Divine Sunder being built on this Hecarim. TN wants to be a carry. He's not interested in just playing tank. And this is a fine line to play because you can be so heavily burst out.
If I'm not mistaken, that was a super interesting interaction between JackeyLove and Gala. Gala ults to try and clear the wave. JackeyLove walks forward so the explosion won't hit the minion wave and won't thin it out too much. So it's like these micro interact. I mean, I know I'm an AD carry main. Maybe I find that a lot more interesting than other people do, but really, really heads up from JackeyLove. I'm not sure he was able to actually stop the wave being cleared anyway, but regardless, nice bit of play. Knockups over the wall. Knight is here. Man advantage actually for RNG as they get the fear and they take a kill already. But Xiaohu falls, and that's massive gold into the pocket of JackeyLove. A shutdown with his adoration stacks. Jackie is rich, and Wei has to back off. Goes a bit too deep on this one. The Ignite is there and Knight flashes forward. A root comes in onto Ming. RNG dive too deep. And now Gala alone under the tower. It'll be more for JackeyLove. 3-1 on his signature pick.
They just go way too deep. RNG try to turn the play, but Top Esports are in the perfect position for it. Now Top Esports finally with a firm goal lead in the early stages of game number 3. And we'll see it here. They get the pick onto Mark, but everyone clumps up for Tien. This fear over the wall was beautiful. It separates out RNG. Knight is able to play forward, and RNG are forced to back away. Beautiful stuff here from Top Esports.
I'm a little surprised Wei went for that one, honestly. A bit over-aggressive, and the rest of the team then punished for that. They're trying to protect their jungler, and it's an easy dive at this point. It's not happy to tank up a couple of shots for JackeyLove to be able to finish the job. Very nicely done.
He actually got bone plating back in the last sec, which meant he didn't die to the auto. But here we go.
Ming in trouble here, hooked in. The Flame Chompers buy a bit of space, but not enough. And Tien grabs himself that kill. JackeyLove is shoving the wave. Gala's in trouble and forces a TP out from Xiaohu. This is the aggression we've been begging for, Dagda.
And it's been the attention JackeyLove has been craving. 3, 1, and 2 on the Draven. An item and a half now for this lethality carry. And for Top Esports, this is where you want it to be. This is where you need it to be. This is how you beat RNG. And in game 3, just barely keeping their hopes alive, they're looking for that reverse sweep.
They certainly are. Let's not get too excited. Let's not talk reverse sweep just yet. They've got a long way to go. As Bin wants the solo kill, and Wayward might be on the receiving end of it. It's too easy. Dagda, did you have to do that? Did you have to say it?
I didn't mean to. I just got excited. was like Top Esports are going to do the thing, but now they're not doing the thing.
But
Bin is doing the thing, and now
once
we're on the
again-
Dragon thing.
Once again, Bin finds a solo kill onto Wayward, right? 2 games in a row is an all-in on the bottom side. Mark finds a hook, finds the triple knock-up. Tien is there. The blades across the whole team. Knight with the damage, and RNG find a rocket. They're too tanky. Top Esports didn't have enough to finish the kills, but Ming will be a consolation prize. Knight gets that one. It's a 1-for-1, but crucially, Tien went down with Dragon on the map.
And you still can't try and go for this as Top Esports because you know there's that TP available for Bin as well. So they're going to back away. So Bin gets turret plates on top right as they're about to fade. You get the 1-for-1 trade, and Top Esports not quite able to make it happen. Now, still a 3,000 gold lead, but we need to see clean execution from Top Esports.
Let's take another look at how that all started. Oh, actually, this is going to be the solo killers. Wayward, I mean, trying to tower dive. Perhaps a little too much.
Well, I mean, it's even just trying to get the mini Gnar here. As soon as you go into mini, this is where it gets real scary. You can see Bin is perfectly happy and knows exactly what to do. Ghost is popped. You got no flash in the Gnar. Just overextending from Wayward. And then we come into this fight. You end up with a great knockup from the depth charge, and Tien tries to make it happen here, but low health bars. You can't really get Jackie Love into the fight because he's been down in the bot side, so it actually ends up as a bit of an uneven fight numbers-wise, thanks to Gala actually being able to position for that skirmish.
I will say, despite the overall scoreline of RNG having 6 kills, right now Jackie and Knight are seemingly invincible, looking amazing during these fights. So Xiaohu hooked once more, no flash, but Mark needs to back away. The TP coming out from Bin, you mentioned it earlier. It's enough to deter the play, and Bin wants a bit of action of his own. Has to back away in the end. Can't go for the 2v1.
So just to point out,
no.
Mark is dead. Second thing to point out is that the Dragon was picked up by Top Esports as those replays were happening, as Mark will eventually go down. There we go. Even kill goes to Gal as well. Is a bit unfortunate, but now we're kind of going, well, again, we're seeing Top Esports making these plays, but TP's now doubly burnt onto RNGs. It would have been a bit better if Top Esports hadn't given kills across the TPs, but now maybe they'll have the influence they want on the map. With Knight having the Realm Warp, with Wayward having the TP, but Way is here.
Yeah, and Bin is on his way as well. Ghost is not available. This is a 1v1, but it's one that Way is happy to take. Bit of CC there, but no damage from Wayward. But Way not going to follow the play.
Tien is
Bin
there.
arrives, and it looks like, yeah, with Tien's reinforcements, RNG can't find the pick.
Yeah, even at Knight starting to roam up with the Realm Warp as well. So RNG will back away, will give the second Rift Herald across despite the pressure though, because Tien just feeling a little bit healthier, and Wayward managing TP back in. So still objective control on this top side in favor of Top Esports. And with mid tower being so low, bot tower being so low as well, it feels like it's only a matter of time until they, put pressure mid, get the mid turret, and even if they can get that without using Herald, they'll still have it for the bot lane.
They certainly will. So Tien finding that Herald for himself. And we're wanting a nice, clean mid-game from Top Esports here. We've seen them have the lead before, Dagda. We've seen them in the driver's seat. We need to see them not throw it away.
And so much of that mid-game is driven by Knight, especially when he's on things like the Rise, things like the Ari, where he's able to push side and then group very quickly. He'll look to try and catch people out, look for picks, and especially try and link up with Wayward and see if he can find those moments where you have been overextended. Now, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher when you've got like this Ghost on the Gwen, and she's got the Hollowed Mist, the potential to 2v1, honestly. But I really want to see if Nike now can start to play towards these sides, especially as bot Terror goes down. You can group up with your AD carry and support from Mark.
Oh, Mark's in trouble. Mark is in big trouble. Way trying to start this play off, but Jackie Love will be here to protect his support. The standard side will be big value here. Nox, none of them actually. Just missed. They decided not to commit. Xiaohu's been caught again. I feel like we keep on seeing Xiaohu knocked back, caught out in the side as the realm up to the bottom side. This is the mojo we've all been waiting for. Knight and Tien setting the play up with Jackie Love following from the backside of everything. Way goes in to buy space for his team, but Jackie Love cashes in those stacks once more. And this Draven is becoming a big problem for RNG.
And we said it already, the driving force for the mid game from Top Esports has been Knight for so long. He gets the pick onto Xiaohu instantly round warp spot, and now you're in a position where you get that tier 2. You honestly could get the charge on the inhibitor turret as well, but you're losing your mid turret as well, as RNG Top Esports have come alive in Game 3.
It's beautiful to witness. Look at Jackie
Here we
Love's
go.
inventory. Just put a Hex Drinker and a Collector, but Tien is caught. Bin trying to buy space. Oh no, but he kind of fumbles the blast code. He ended up over the wall. Tien, no ulti available. Surely will go down here. Dodges the rocket though. At least he stops Gala getting the gold, but sticking around a little too long.
Yeah, and it's just these sloppy mistakes from Top Esports that are letting RNG stay in this. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say they're massively in it. It is a 7,000 gold lead. Jackie Love is bloody bonkers after, as you say, buying the Collector and the Hex Drinker. It feels like he's going to take over fights, but you just need to make sure they're not fully giving moments to Top Esports, or to RNG, but this beautiful from Top Esports. Great pick onto Xiaohu. Instant round warp into the perfect position. This is why we wanted Knight on something like the Rise. This is what's been missing all series long for Top Esports.
And it feels like Knight and Tien working so well as a 2v2, right? That's something that, honestly, I've not really felt has been that stellar for Top Esports. A lot of the time, that's sometimes the thing that's disjointed today, or at least in this game. It feels like finally we're seeing them working as a pairing, and it's beautiful to witness. And once again, Jackie Love, the benefactor of all of that. Once again, Jackie Love trying to get revenge on Bin. He got knocked out of Worlds by this guy, and now he wants to finally get himself a win on the board.
And I have to say, like, for Top Esports, this is kind of going back to basics for them, right? Like we heard Lyric talk about on the desk, where he's saying, look, what we oftentimes see from Top Esports when we look at the V5 series was them having early aggression, but with scaling, right? This composition doesn't scale. And this feels like Top Esports are going, look, let's go back to basics. Let's go back to what we feel comfortable with. Hyper aggression. And RNG tried their damnedest to stop Top Esports from bursting through the door, but there was just not enough fortification. Top Esports threw themselves at RNG over and over and over, and now they're starting to get those advantages with towers dropping across the map. And when you've got so much control, it makes it easier for Top Esports to look for sideline plays, to look for Baron, for looking for vision for the Dragon as well, especially with that third one up in 5 minutes time.
And I will say, Dagda, as you're talking about like Top Esports going back to what's worked in the past, going back to the style that has found them wins, we have to talk about the fact that Top Esports, this has been a really turbulent split. The fact that they're in finals at all goes against what most people expected. They have had, what is it, like 9 people on their roster across the course of this split. At one point, they were 12th in the standings during week number 4. It has been a ridiculous turnaround with, you know, they brought in Zoom, couldn't work out in the top side. Qingtian didn't really work out for them this split. Xiaopeng in the jungle didn't work out. We had Zhuo in the support role, didn't work out. Now they found their final form.
And we'll have to see what their finals form is like, because thus far it doesn't feel like we've seen Top Esports in this series until this game. And now RNG feeling the pinch, exploiting the fact that RNG's early game hasn't been the strongest. And now Top setting up on this in this jungle, looking to get vision, trying to see if they can bait RNG into face checking, and Ming will answer.
He certainly will, but thankfully the Nautilus hook just pulls him against the wall, so he's safe. Keeps himself out of harm's way. But again, Top Esports, this is what they always do, right? Muscle into the jungle, try and buy themselves space. But Gala's gone too far forward. He's knocked up and immediately taken down. Shadow Surge, in comes Xiaohu. Can he find the fears? Can he find the damage? Bin in the middle of everyone. He has to carry the fight, but he flees over the wall, and Wayward is there to follow. Knight over the wall as well, and Bin trying to escape. Dashes back over. We're playing Ring Around the Roses, but Top Esports, they're the best at circles.
Mark finds the pick onto Gala, and Top Esports now can turn over towards the Baron. TP in from Knight, and with that Top Esports, maybe the fans can start to believe. Maybe they could do it, but Bin is sitting on the wings, and this is very healthy. Tien, the health bar pretty low.
God. I'm getting real scared here because Xiaohu's about to come back up and he has TP available. Bin wants to contest it. Tien has Smite. Bin gets locked up. The rocket over. Smite surely from Tien here. Surely you take the Baron. There we go. Knight survives as well. Xiaohu now arriving. No Shadow Surge available, but the flash can't finish Knight though. The damage isn't there, and Wayward finds the kill.
Tank Rise will stay standing, and Force of Nature is being hugged gratefully by Knight right now.
And Knight is a force of nature, right? It's the perfect item for him. He survives, he's been making plays all game, and it feels like he's finally on the pick we needed.
And this is where Top Esports now can finally fight back and push RNG into the base, and it's this hook from Mark. Gala, that step too far forward, cleanse is late. Flash not there, and Bin is trying in this fight to make it happen, but look at Knight on the back line, dishing out so much damage. Wayward, as he's saying, starting the call for a ring around the rosy, but he's got more friends coming, and they get the Baron.
Beautiful stuff from Top. I mean, that fight was just pure carnage. Everyone just stood on top of everyone. Whoever has more AoE just wins by default.
I just looked at Top Esports items. There's 3 Force of Natures on Top Esports. They're like, Xiaohu, screw your Vex, screw your damage. We don't want to deal with it because Gala's already been set behind.
Bin is to Gwen what 369 is to Kennen. You just
Yeah.
build MR and he doesn't get to play the game. We've got Baron now for Top Esports. We need to see them not throw. They've had leads in this series, and they've thrown them every time.
But this is the thing, right? The Force of Nature will only work against the AP damage. Gwen does an insane amount of true damage. It's why you don't see her build Void Staffs, because of how much true damage is built into her kit. And you're seeing it here. Knight is one of those people with the Force of Nature, and Bin is 1v2 in him with Wayward.
But luckily for Knight, he's got Wayward nearby. They're going to be able to survive. With the Baron up wave, they take that tower. All 3 tier 2 towers have been taken down. But Top Esports, they're yet to take an inhibitor tower across the course of this series. I'm pretty. Whoa! The damage out from Jackie Love. Way wanted a kick, but at least he's traded. They're happy with that 1-for-1. Mark flashes away from the Shadow Surge, stops the resets, pulls himself one. He just face planted.
I love how you tried to stay serious for
God.
about 0.5 of a second. But now, Tien on bot side, Dragon is up in 20. You don't have Jackie Love available for this Dragon. That's actually a pretty big deal. Top Esports, they end up fumbling.
Yeah, Jackie Love and Mark down.
It's okay.
This is exactly what we said. Like, I literally just said Top Esports with Baron. They've been here before, and they fumble it again.
You gotta laugh, because if you don't, you'll cry. Mark, unfortunately,
Why not
not
both?
having the
Why
best
not both?
series. But Knight now, Xiaohu has no ultimate, so won't be able to close the distance. So Knight will just about manage to walk away. Everfrost to keep him safe. Tien is on the Dragon, so RNG trading this for that potential pick on tonight, for that potential gold bounty on the top turret. But Top Esports starting to move up into that area as we hop into the replay. And this was just really good. Great play from RNG to pick off Jackie Love again, who was separated from his team.
I mean, 2v5. They almost
go.
go one
Ready?
for Mark just... I mean, that's kind of unfortunate. That felt, oh, hang on. We've got a fight on the live server right now. It's an 80 carry for an 80 carry kill right now. But Jackie Love cleanses, flashes away. Xiaohu 1 HP. Rocket won't hit Jackie Love. He survives. Bin onto the back line. Can he 1v1 the Draven? Yes, he can. Wayward is here, though, to clean up the fight. And Bin finds himself alone once more. TN with 2 and Top Esports towards the base.
They throw everything at Jackie Love, but the rest of Top Esports stay standing. And now RNG, with just Bin left remaining, will have their base torn asunder as Top Esports step forward.
And Top Esports finally get to break an inhib tower. They finally get a firm footrest in a game of this series. 21-14, but the gold lead 13,000 in their favor. Looks like they won't take the mid inhib. They don't want to overstep. The respawns are coming on through, but they've finally broken the base.
And now you're looking Baron in 3 and a bit minutes. 2 minutes until the Dragon, which is sold for Top Esports. And Mark, look, went over aggressive, but you have members of Top Esports collapsing sooner. Jackie Love is a menace in these fights as well. The damage that is coming out from this Draven is absolutely insane. And when we looked at Jackie Love and said, this is a signature pick, this is what he needs to step up on, he has been doing so every step of the way in this game.
And every single team fight, we're seeing Knight and Tien just staying as a pair, right? Working together. And you see them win the top side of the fight while Jackie Love goes down to Bin. But you can see another BF sword in the inventory of Jackie Love.
GS.
That'll be his 6th item. Jackie Love is basically full build. We're only 27 minutes into the game. That is mental. That is the power of a Draven when you're getting kills regularly.
Yeah, he's absolutely nuts. And this is where maybe we start to see him swapping over into that more crit-oriented build, because you can see Gala's lagging behind only 3 items for himself in the more expensive build. But when you've got the amount of gold that this Draven does make sense to start going towards some of those late-game items. But RNG now backs against the wall in their base for the first time in this series. Top Esports looking in control.
TN needs to be a little cautious. RNG with a full-on death brush. Anyone that face checks that is going to go down. Because Mark, remember, Glacial Augment, not Aftershock. He is not a tanky Nautilus. He can only find a pick. He cannot just go in 1v5. Bin steps on up, gets rooted. That's going to be the Shroud used very early on. It was traded for Mark's ulti. I feel like Mark's ulti is almost less valuable than the Shroud, to be honest.
I mean, it has a definitely a longer cooldown, which Bin will try and take full advantage of.
Yeah.
But you can see here, Top Esports, they're just playing for vision. They're just trying to keep RNG back and look at this Baron that's about to spawn. Mark, though, still playing forward. Always the potential of a pick here. Like, RNG can collapse so incredibly quickly with the composition they have.
And especially Xiaohu, right? The second any CC lands, he can find his Shadow Surge, he get those resets. It's terrifying. Top Esports on Baron. This is not a good sign for Top Esports fans. This has not gone well for Top Esports. Not even just in this series, in this entire playoffs. Down to half HP as Mark, forced away by RNG. Top Esports, I think they want a fight, but they're struggling to find it. Wayward, he's about to turn Mega. He wants to do what Bin has been doing this entire series long, but I don't think he'll find his angle.
Not able to get in. Mega Gnar hit. Baron not started by Top Esports. RNG just waiting for Wayward to reset.
And crucially, Xiaohu still has that Scryer's Orb in his inventory. Well, no, he doesn't. It's gone now. He just used that one. So that's the last long-range vision available for RNG. They have to face check now. Ming the one to do it. Taking a lot of damage. Goes into the backline, but he's too deep and alone. Xiaohu cannot follow. Shadow Surge still available, but the rocket is gone. All of the vision is gone. And now without a support, I'm not sure if RNG can contest, but they feel like they need to. They feel they have to go for this one. Way over the wall. Wayward trying to buy space for the rest of his team. Mark has to flash on out, but the health bar's low. Xiaohu one auto away from his demise. Tien the one to cut him down. And now Wei dashing out to safety, but it's only relative because Knight has made his way to the back line. Looking for Gala, but loses vision. Wei, with a nice bit of fancy footwork, actually pulls himself out to safety. Top Esports didn't get the Baron. They've chased for kills, and they can't find them.
And Bin has gone on a loop around, so he's right the way at the back, so he gets to get out as well. So you've got the kills, but now that Soul is up. Top Esports have thrown everything at RNG except for the ultimate from Wayward, and now they will need to try and burst this dragon out. They should be able to with no contest, but RNG can move into River on top side, get the vision control, and have themselves one more fight.
Once again, I want to talk about TN 8-3-13, the redemption story for this player who has had a rough year and a half, basically. It's felt like he's been in a slump, but here in the finals, here in game number 3, when the backs are against the wall, this Hecarim pick comes out, and it's looking good. It's looking like the tool Top Esports needs.
And even when you look at Knight as well, right, so close to being the guy for not even just Top Esports, the LPL as well, but now 4-0-13, the Gargoyle Stoneplate, the playmaking ability for this man is there, and he's popping the hell off.
He's gone for the Gargoyle Stoneplate, so he wants to be the guy himself.
And my Peter Marker was bad.
It was terrible. My joke was also terrible. That doesn't stop your joke being terrible. They were both terrible. Here we go. Back to the Baron Pit. I just need to see Top Esports not 50-50 this. Not throw this away for the sake of throwing it away. Being in the bottom side of the map right now does have his TP available. Will get the bounty, but still 12,000 gold down.
Yeah, crucially though, Gala still doesn't have this Infinity Edge finish. So not having the damage that can match realistically against the Draven, you're still looking at Xiaohu to be this big carry and find these big moments. But RNG have reset, and Top Esports, they're already on it. Like, this Baron's just gone.
I guess RNG decided that this is not something that they could contest for, as tower did go down in that bottom side as well. So Bin manages to get 2 towers off the back of this play. That's a lot of gold in Bin's pocket. Yeah. I'm curious if he'll finish a 4th item.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Rabadon's completed now. So it's still such an expensive item, but I kind of like the thought process here from Bin, where it's like either you hold out long enough and this Rabadon's gets completed and you can win based off of the buy, or you're just not going to have the damage to carry these fights anyway. So Bin kind of realized he needs to be the one to step up.
Yeah.
And Infinity Edge now for Gala as well.
Infinity Edge for Gala. And crucially, these kinds of decisions, I think it's fine to make for RNG, because even if you disagree with the fundamental decision, they're 2-0 up. They can make a risky call of look, if they can't end now, then we'll win the game. because they have leeway. They know that they're against the ropes in this game, but they still have the advantage in this series. And it's a while until any objectives come up, so now Top Esports, with the Baron buff, have to push in. But we've seen this a few times, Dagda, and it's not looked pretty.
And you still got great wave clear in RNG as well between Xiaohu and Gala. As long as you can keep these waves off the turrets, you can actually do work. But you've already missing one in mid. You have a half health turret on bot side, so you don't actually get very much time to clear out, especially with double cannons.
Knight on the mid inhibitor. Jakilov takes a bit of damage on the bottom side here as Ming goes into the back line and just gets one shot. Knight threatening everybody as in goes Tien as well. And RNG are just wiped out. This one wasn't even close. Bin tried his best on the backside, but it's going to be a couple for Tien to finish it all out. 11 kills on the Hecarim. Redemption is the name of the game for Top Esports, and they keep their dreams alive in this final. And they all just abandoned ship.
I was like, where are we going here, boys? I was like, all right, okay, we finished it off. But Top Esports, bring it back, push us to that game number 4. And this was what I've wanted to see from Top Esports all series long. Play the early game well. Get the aggressive plays, get the aggressive picks, and make sure that you're able to punish this bot lane for Gala and Ming.
It has to be said, though, and this is coming from a place of support for Top Esports, that was a hard-fought win in game number 3. Everything went their way, and it was still really hard for them to finish things out. When RNG found the advantages in game 1 and 2, it was over. Yeah. Like, this does not feel like an equal win to the ones we saw from RNG.
Maybe not game 1, but still a little bit shaky. But I do agree, right? Like, I think for Top Esports, this has been their big problem, is that their mid-games haven't been clean. People getting caught out, not being able to find the objectives that they want, feeling like they have to, like, hard-force neutral fights so then they can actually close out games. And at least in this case, it was kind of RNG going, hey, look, we're 99% certain we don't win these fights anyway, so let's go for 2 towers bot instead, which gave them the tools they need to finish out the game. But it was hard-fought, and I think fair due to RNG to make it happen, but I think this still shows that it doesn't really matter, right? If Top Esports can get that much control in the early game, which I think is possible against the way RNG play, they can still do this.
It feels like that was the way that Top Esports won in the series earlier on, right? They got the one win against RNG before. It was just through sheer early game domination, and this Draven pick, maybe that's the answer, right? You know, Jakilov bringing out his signature when his back's against the wall, and it just looks fantastic. I love that he clearly still plays this in solo queue.
Oh, yeah.
This is still clearly just a favorite pick. We haven't seen it in professional from him in a good while now, but he's still perfectly on point with it.
It's not even that it's solo queue. It's like, hey, I'm doing this in scrims. Like, you don't just get to, well, maybe you can just bring it out onto the main stage, but you need the team to be, like, set up and coordinated to play around this pick. Make sure you're getting it going, and
I don't know. I feel like with most teams, maybe. But this is Jakilov. Yeah, I feel like Jakilov is one of those players that'd be willing to say, all right, boys, I'm locking in Draven. And the rest of the team is just along for the ride.
And it was an amazing ride, right? Yeah. Even when you look at, like, Tien going for the Divine Sunder build, not going towards the Chem tank. He's like, look, I want to be a little bit more of a damage-oriented carry since he picked up those 2 kills in the early stages. Jakilov took him a while to get rolling just because like they couldn't quite get the kills on him in the early stages, but once he did, like 6 items in no time at all, destroying Bin in that last team fight where you think the Gwen is going to stand a chance. Like, it just all started to come together for Top Esports, and I really want to see this build or this style again, right? Like, go back to having these aggressive picks, this opportunity to play the map when you're not stuck on something like the Galio.
Yeah, feels like this pick was the answer as we head towards game number 4. Jakilov topping that damage chart as you would expect. And I do just want to give an honourable mention to Bin in this game as well. Bin tried his damnedest. Like the early game from Bin and Xiaohu when they managed to get that double kill. A couple of moments where he looked really stellar, but not able to find the win.
I will also say, like, yes, in the late game, Bin, or mid game, I'll say Bin and Xiaohu worked well together, but Xiaohu, you know, we saw him kind of getting caught out once or twice, trying to move down towards this bottom side, trying to see if he could support it, and that felt like the whole plan from RNG, right, was like, just throw everything we can into protecting Gal on the bot side, and it still wasn't enough. And I think that's going to fill Top Esports, especially the players, with a lot of confidence, because when you know that RNG did everything they could to stop you, and you still broke through, that's got to feel good.
I mean, you can see that they're feeling good. Yeah. In the fact that when they're winning the game, they're realm warping away from the Nexus. Like, only Top Esports. I love that vibe from them. I love that clearly the spirits are high coming off of the back of this win. They haven't given up just yet. They've reverse swept within this playoffs before, and they've taken their first step on their new